Hello and welcome to today's video, and today we're going to be looking at this box which is used to contain some wine by the looks of it. However, it doesn't contain wine anymore. What it does contain is some old car radios of varying types. So these were given to me by a friend of mine, and I'm interested to see what will happen if I try to power them up. Who knows what might happen to them? They may end up blowing up, they may end up working, they may end up doing absolutely nothing at all. Not even sure what they're going to do, so this will be an interesting voyage. And yes, okay, so that, yeah, okay. This is apparently a Tesla. Not the Tesla that we know these days, but Tesla was, certainly when this was made, they were a company producing consumer electronics. This being one of the items that they produced. And it looks like that we have a good candidate to start with. The other thing that you'll notice is they're all unusual sizes. So this one is a Philips of some description, but they are all odd, unusual sizes. However, the only one that is a standard size is this Pioneer radio cassette here, and this is a standard DIN size. So this is a sort of format that we would be familiar with because it is a standardized size, and the reason why you got this standardized size is because you had all of these weird sizes going on. Right, let's put that to one side, and let's start with the little Tesla and see what it does. Made in Czechoslovakia, apparently. So that's interesting. Let's see what it does. And we have what I think will be a negative. So let's just power this off for a second. And we want a direct current output. So let's increase the voltage. So we're going to go for 12 volts, as close as possible. And we have illumination inside of it, so that is lit up at about 11 volts. No smokiness coming out of it. These are probably our speaker wires. Let's see if I can find a speaker. Here's a speaker. See if we can get it to make some noise. Let's power it off just to be safe. There we go. You can actually see it's drawing nothing now because it's obviously turned off, so the very fact it was drawing something was good. The dealer needs some fly leads for this, so let's see. Okay. Right, so we've connected it up to a speaker. Let's see what happens. Whoa, okay. Well, we have noise, that's a good start. Let's give it, oh, a little too much. Let's give it, bang on, 12 volts. There we go. See if we can get anything out of it at all. She's dead, but that's because the cable fell out. The professionally installed cable. Right, there we go. Let's put that into there. Ah! Right, that's off. That's on. Right, let's try and professionally manufacture an aerial. Right, there we go. A little bit better, you can actually see what's going on. So we are drawing approximately 223 milliamps. Which is roughly about what I would expect, actually. So that's doing what we want it to do. Let's try and manufacture an aerial of sorts. Let's see what we can come up with. So nothing as yet, but then again we don't exactly have the world's best aerial. We're just trying to do something with a bit of wire. In this case, just some old speaker cable. Actually, this will be useful for some jump wire for when we do the next one. Power it down. Let's push that into there, so that's the aerial kind of in. Right, let's hold this at a certain height. So we're on long wave at the moment. Let's go over to medium wave. So nothing, certainly nothing there. What I will try is swapping these speaker connectors over, just in case. It needs to have them differently assigned. Normally it doesn't affect it, but I'm prepared to give it a go. And sadly nothing, unfortunately. However, it does light up, and it does produce some kind of noise. So in other words, the crackling noise is a good sign. That is a good sign that it may actually do something. So that is a possibility, and also it isn't feeling unduly warm, and there's no unusual smells coming out of it. So that one is going to go in the box of potential. So let's have a look at this Philips now. Right, okay, so one of these is going to be positive, one of these is going to be negative. So they're not fused. That's going to be interesting. Let's try that into positive. Let's try this one into negative. Let's make sure that it is turned off. Let's use a bit of fly lead for this. Now, the fact that it's not fused is something I do not like. So we're going to start it on a low voltage, right the way down. Five volts, 6. It's actually drawing a lot of power. 7, 8, 9. That's drawing a heck of a lot of power. I am not going to go any further with that one. It's not smelling or anything, but I don't like the amount of power that's drawing. And this is just shonky. I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. That's going to go out the way for the moment. Right, let's have a look at this one. This one has a couple of cables on it. A black cable. It's negative earth. Don't even know how that's supposed to connect up. So there is a little fuse built in, I think. I would assume that's the fuse there. I'm guessing these two are speakers. So it has connection for positive to earth or negative to earth. Oh, I see. So this actually copes with negative and positive earth. So ensure the plug at the rear of your car radio is set to the minus position if your car is negative earth. So that's not actually a fuse, that is a setting thing. a setting dial, so negative earth there, positive earth there. However, I think we are missing some cables, because I'm guessing these are probably speaker cables. That is probably your negative cable, and there is nothing else really to give you an idea as to how this connects up. So let's get the cover off. It looks fairly easy to remove the cover. Ow. So let's pop the cover off if we can. And that's not coming off easily. Let's try and see if we can find a smaller flat blade, of which I don't think we have a smaller flat blade. That's annoying. Okay, there we go, we're getting somewhere now. This is made in Hong Kong, according to this label. There we go, so that's off. Actually opens up rather easily. So let's have a look inside of it. Very, very simple, actually. Very simple indeed. There's a bulb for obviously the illumination of the front panel. These must screw onto the side there, so I would guess those are transistors, probably for the amplification. This is the radio section, these various adjustable, I don't know if they're capacitors or resistors. Little transformer at the back. This is probably very much earth, judging by the fact that it is soldered on there. I think I was right about those two being speaker cables. And there's a positive cable going onto the terminal of that switch, but nothing else. I'm not sure if anything else comes out of there. It should, but I'll be honest, I don't know how we would power that one on. So let's put that one back for the moment. Let's reassemble it. There we go. There we are, get it reassembled. Let's put this screw back in, and we'll put this in the potential box. So this one's the next one, and there's this bit of wire, there's there, which I would guess is for the speaker output. Nope, hang on. Yeah, speaker output. There's a plus sign on this one, so that's probably our positive supply. So let's put this over here. Let's give this one, so this will be our negative supply. So stick the output in, and that's going to be our positive supply, so we'll need another the fly lead. Make sure that it doesn't make contact with the case itself. Right, that's on, that's off. Let's turn that on. Let's turn this on. And let's start gently, whoops, gently increasing the power. Until we get to 12 volts, so it's not drawing any power at the moment. $11 coming up, and we're at 12, and it is drawing 0.02 milliamps. So in other words, that is drawing no power at all. So my guess is that's either dead or wired for positive earth. There's a single screw over there, so let's grab a crosshead. That'll do. God, that looks manky. That looks very rough inside, to be honest with you. This is that hanging loose? Yeah, that's not even connected to anything anymore. That I think would have been connected to this transformer, so that's why that's not working, because this has just literally rotted away from the transformer, so there's no power going into it. So that would account for the fact that it's not drawing any power whatsoever. This one is probably going into the I'm not even going to bother pile. However, somebody may find this front panel of use and some of these internal components of use as well. So it's not a complete write-off, but for me it's too far gone to be able to do anything with. So that isn't going in the bin, but I won't be doing anything else with that one. Go and sit with the Phillips. Right, the next one is this rather nice little Echo Electron, and this one is made in Great Britain. It is a I want to say negative earth, so 12 volts negative earth. And we have two cables coming out of it. We have this one, and we have this one, which looks like, looking at that, I'm guessing that this green one's probably going to be positive, because that is a fuse connector. This is probably going to be our negative, but the next mystery is where does the speakers, terrible grammar, James, where do the speakers connect? Well, let's whip it open. And let's take a look. So it has this nice little removable back on it. We have 2 amplification transistors. We have what I think is our power, but God, that's flimsy. Look at that. There's our on-off switch. That is probably volume. That's our tuner. Medium wave, long wave. That's definitely going to be our little volume knob. But where oh where do our speakers connect? This seems to be, this might be where our speakers connect, and the earth might be directly onto the unit itself, which would make sense. So these are going to be our speakers, which means I'm going to need a bit of creative wiring. By creative wiring, I mean terrible dodgy wiring. But don't worry, this isn't permanent. And if it blows up, it blows up. So, this is probably our speaker wire. We need another bit of wire for there, so let's see what we have in our collection of small bits of wire. Alright, so I've powered it on. Got it earthed. Slowly wind up the power and see what she does. So it's not drawing excessive amounts of power at the moment. It's drawing about what I would expect. It's drawing what that little Tesla drew actually, so about 2-ish milliamps. Right, we're bang on 12-ish. There is a bit of noise. So let's press medium wave in. It's not drawing excessive amounts of power. Current rather. Nothing is getting hot. Nothing is burning, which is always nice. That's off, and it goes right back down. On. There's a healthy oomph. But no static, which is what I would expect to hear. However, that's probably viable. Yeah, that could definitely live. That definitely wants to live, I feel. Let's see if I can butcher an aerial again. Oops, a little bit high. There we are, 12 volts exactly. The JCT patented aerial attachment. There's our aerial. It's not really an aerial. But as of yet, nothing. We need a proper aerial to test this properly, but the fact that we are getting current being drawn, we're sat bang on 12 volts, we're getting current being drawn, that's a good sign. And that's drawing approximately an amp or so, which makes sense. Actually, hang on a minute, that is, yeah, that's the one we want. And let's power it off. There we go, that's off. So, out of curiosity, I'm going to try a different power supply. So I've got this little DC, AC to DC converter, which will give us effectively just 12 volts without any hassle. So let's try that a second. And that'll be 12 volts DC as well. So positive, negative, power on, power on. Let's actually check that that is turned on. Alright, that's on 12 volts. Oh, hello. I think we had something.
We are everywhere on DAB digital radio.
Brilliant.
1089 and 1053 AM. The Sunday Session with Sam Matterface.
Absolutely fantastic. Look at that.
Talk Sport.
It's working.
This is the Sunday Session from Talk Sport with me, Sam Matterface, and Perry Groves.
That is superb. That's working a treat. We managed to make an aerial and we got it working. So that's 12 volts output from this little AC to DC converter. So that's doing a good job. I think this one, looking at it, I may have been using it on an alternating output. Not to worry, that is working now. So there's our little radio, that's the echo unit, that's working nicely. Let's have another go with that little Tesla. So, let's power that off. Let's power this off. Let's move this out the way. There we go. So what we'll do before we do anything is we'll just put this little cover back onto it so that we have it ready. Well, that's good. This little echo is a goer. That's brilliant. This would make someone very happy, whom is after a period little radio with this really tacky surround. I think the surround is removable, so you can interchange it for a different surround if required. That's a potential go at that one. Let's try the little Tesla again. So here's our little Tesla. And if you recall, we have negative and positive. So we'll wire this up with positive, which is this one, and we'll wire it up with the quick disconnect feature, and then we'll wire up our negative again with our quick trademarked disassembly feature. We will find another bit of speaker wire, of which I have loads, but it's a bit if I'm going to be honest. That's probably a bit overkill, if we're going to be perfectly honest. But hey, let's give it a go. So, there. Keep those well apart. And there. Again, keep them well apart. Let's see if we can get these plumbed into this speaker. So there's that one. And all I need is a little bit of the wire itself. You don't need the whole core because that's way too fat. All you need is a little bit like that. So we can just pop that into there. That's in. We need to find our negative again, which is here. Pop that into there. It's in our output. And let's turn this on. That's on. Whee! There she goes. That's also on. Let's make our aerial again. Let's see if we can tune her in. So it's currently on medium wave. Let's push it out to long wave. Nothing as yet, so medium. And nothing, but that's okay. I'm not too sad about that. The very fact that we seem to have something coming out of it is a bonus, an unexpected bonus, so that's good. So we'll power that one off and we'll disconnect it. Disconnect speakers, and that can go into the box of the units that we want. Whoops. We want to focus on in a bit more detail. And the final one is this far more conventional looking, but slightly battered and bruised Pioneer. So this is actually a radio cassette. I'm guessing this is probably going to be 70s. My educated guess suggests 70s. It's a bit beaten about, unfortunately, and it doesn't have its knobs anymore. Still has the tuner, which I don't even know if that is working anymore. And around the back we've got, this is the aerial. This mystery of wiring is going to be, that's probably going to be an electric aerial trigger. That is probably going to be positive, that's probably going to be negative, and these two probably going to be speakers. So we can probably do something, I said probably an awful lot, we can do something with the speaker ones immediately. There we go. Let's keep those away from the body of the unit. There we are. So they can sit out the way. Let's see if I can do something with these. There we are. Right, so we need something which is going to be our positive cable. So that will be this one. Something to be our negative. That'll be this one. So let's plumb positive into positive on here. Let's grab our negative, and I'm guessing this is going to be negative. This is our aerial, or is it? No, that is some weird multi-connector, of which I don't know what that's for. This is our aerial. That will have my aerial adaptation. I'm guessing that multi-connector outputs to an external amp or similar. Right, let's be careful with this one. So I think that's on. Let's switch this to 6 volts, 9 volts, 12 volts. And I have a horrible feeling that this one might be dead. Or I've connected it up wrong. Unless, oh, hang on a minute, I wonder if it's got that weird... Yeah, so my thought process was maybe it's got the permanent live and switched live. But that doesn't seem to be the case, because that's not coming on despite that being connected. Alright, let's go back to this one, as this does actually give us a good idea if we're drawing power. So let's power this one on. Let's go output positive. So that's going to positive and to negative. to increase the voltage. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's drawing anything. So that's either turned off or shorted inside. If I... yeah, nothing. Might be one of those ones that you pull to power it on. Yes, it is. Okay, that's now producing... that's now actually drawing something. So that's off. That's on. Bloody hell.
We accommodate everybody. You know, we're just a service club, but we obviously do the disabled stuff as well. This new Penn Centre, what role do you think Penn can play in all of this?
Okay, there you
Well,
go.
they can challenge things legally. I think that's the
That
most
works.
important thing. Because I think there is a basic inequity.
That's
here
FM as
where
well, so
small
that's
groups,
working.
as I said before, can decide for. That goes against most.
There should
principles
actually
of-
be another.
of my
If it's
country, your
is it a
country,
stereo
every place.
output
So that's
or
where we're,
mono?
I think the battlefront will be is challenging these things as soon as they happen.
I
and
don't
weighing
actually
in
know.
at some of these public hearings on books, in
Or
front
whatever,
of
it's tuned.
school boards and so forth.
Let's try a
40
cassette
years,
that I don't mind
book
losing.
lovers have really not done anything about it because it hasn't really struck home.
This
It's
most definitely will not
starting
work.
to strike home. Like my daughter is. When she read that in high school, and now you can't get it in most high schools.
It hasn't tuned it though. That's
High school
a
libraries
bonus.
in Florida. When my daughter found out about this, she wanted to get involved as well. So it's just something that I think has to gather steam, and you gather a lot of steam through legal action, media attention.
Let's rewind. Let's fast forward.
In the US, making their first steps
That's
into
eject.
writing might start to actually avoid writing about certain challenging subjects to keep their books on libraries.
Bloody hell, I think that's rewinding.
Here's one baby boy Phil wrote.
Oh my god. It's bloody working. Okay, that'll need rebelting, definitely. But that's working. I'm really surprised. Let's see. Let's go back to play again. So
Take a message to Mary.
absolutely amazing.
Don't tell her.
That's working. So that's actually working for tape playback as well. I am quite shocked. This hasn't been powered on in God knows how many years.
People that
And it's not chewing the cassette, as you can see. It's just happily playing the cassette. That's what it's doing. So.
Fiction, but I do reflect what's going on in society, and so I've had who reach out on social media and so forth and say, I'm done with you because I know you're...
Wait, one of I like that.
Well, I'm surprised and impressed. There's another little viable unit. Not surprised it works, to be honest. It is a Pioneer. They tend to just work, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Given my experience with some other Pioneer kit, it is pretty reliable on the whole. But very impressed. So we've got, out of the 5, we've got certainly 2 or 3 which are viable. And it would appear, well, this one is actually working absolutely fine, so there wasn't any problem using this at all. And yeah, this one's actually drawing under an amp, or just over an amp, 122 milliamps. Is that an amp? Oh, yes, it is. I think that's 1.2 amps. That's at 12 volts. This is interesting. I wonder how low, voltage-wise, it needs to run. So say, for example, if you've got a flat battery or something, it's running on 7, 6, 5. So it needs about 5 to run, and at 5 volts, it's drawing 0.7 of an amp.
But his brain just works in brilliant ways. He is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. There's nothing he can't do. So creative.
And the optimum
strings to his bow, like he's really, really smart. And he actually
is
came
definitely
on,
12.
to talk about his psychothymia. Is it thymia? Thymia, yeah. He came on to talk about it when he sort of first got the diagnosis, and it was really interesting to hear that that's perhaps behind some of these behaviours that actually make him really brilliant. Yeah.
So if anyone doesn't know, he comes up with lots of like board games and just games in general. He can develop and produce these
So that's drawing
ideas.
1.2 amps.
You don't know how.
The cassette works, which I'm really surprised at. Let's do that again. Yeah, needs a bit of work. That's the tone control. Don't know what that is.
Take a message to Mary.
It just spins around randomly.
Don't tell her
Yeah.
take a message.
Oh, that might be bass, treble.
But don't say I'm in a jam.
Yeah,
You can tell her
that there will do.
to see the world. Run, chase you in.
And that's powered off. So I've probably hit every single YouTube content match possible with that, so not to worry. Anyway, that, I would say, has been quite a successful day. So let's power this off. Let's disconnect my special aerial and speakers, and we'll probably do something with this. We'll probably remove these bits, but we'll see if we can do something with it and get it living again. Anyway, quite happy with that. If you have enjoyed this video, actually let's do an outro with my face. There's the face. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care, thanks for watching. It was terrible.